Philly Fed reported a rise in factory activity for this month in the Mid-Atlantic region. Among the biggest gainers today, shares of Harley-Davidson up more than 4%. That's after its board authorized a big share buyback plan. And shares of Fitbit, the fitness device maker, up a staggering 50% on their very first day of trading. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
Hey, neighbor.
Hi, so for Father's Day, the kids and I want to tidy up the garage, a.k.a. the dad cave.
Great. Ace has hundreds of Craftsman products, including a 6-drawer tool chest for just $99.99.
Ace is the place for craftsmen, with lots of great gifts for Dad, including a 6-drawer ball-bearing Craftsman tool chest for $99.99. Because getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor. Now through June 30th at participating stores. Store stock only. See store for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
KCAA Radio, AM 1050. Hey, tell a friend, AM 1050.
And good afternoon, 12:02. I'm Di Rice with the only live local news here in the Inland Empire on KCAA 1050 AM. A man arrested over the weekend on suspicion of carjacking a 70-year-old woman in Murrieta and scuffling with a Good Samaritan who intervened was a one-time Temecula High School teacher and his alleged accomplice, a former student as well. Justin Phillip Gerard, 40, and Brittany Allison Richardson, 24, both of Murrieta, pleaded not guilty Wednesday to carjacking, robbery, elderly abuse, and other charges, authorities said. They were each being held in Riverside County Jail with a bail set at $500,000. If convicted as charged, they face a maximum of 11 years in prison. Inland Empire dignitaries and fire agencies are discussing the use of drones to assist in firefighting activities. In April, the Redlands City Council approved a deal with a drone, but they have not hammered out the details. Captain Mike Moeller, CAL FIRE Southern Region Information Officer, says drones could be used to find smoldering fires and to direct crews during mop-up operations. San Bernardino County Fire Department spokesperson Tracy Martinez says that drones could be useful in checking out reports of fires. However, until issues such as privacy, training, and safety are worked out and air restrictions are more defined, authorities will not be using them. And in other drone news, the Seattle-based web retail giant Amazon.com, which 3 weeks ago launched free same-day delivery, is developing a system that could ship packages weighing up to 5 pounds in much less time via drones. They would travel a few hundred feet above the ground and up to 10 miles out from fulfillment centers like those in Moreno Valley, Redlands, and here in San Bernardino. Amazon says it's been testing the ability of 50-pound drones to fly through wind, rain, and hot or cold air while avoiding objects, and so far so good. The most difficult challenge may be navigating regulatory turbulence. Amazon says the drones, or Amazon Prime Air, will also take delivery trucks off the roads, reducing traffic and pollution. Inland Empire weather, sunny and hot today. Highs near 99, overnight lows 63. Currently, we're already at 94 degrees, and it is 12:04 only. Looking at your drive through the mountains, that Highway 138 is going to be closed east and westbound for quite some time. There's that 100-acre fire going on up there, and they're expecting that they won't have that contained for quite a few days, so don't expect to get through the mountains that way. In the Cajon Pass, there's an accident on the shoulder on the 15 northbound just past Kenwood, and that involves 2, they're saying even possibly 3 vehicles in the center divider. And also in Grand Terrace, an off-ramp is blocked at the 215 northbound right at Barton Road. And that was evidently a pretty serious crash, too, because that occurred just after midnight, and the ramp there is still closed. So that is the very latest with weather and traffic and, of course, news on the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM.
Hey everybody, this is Polka Tom inviting you to join me for Inland Empire Polkas every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. right here on KCAA Radio, 1050 a.m. on your dial and online at www.kcaaradio.com.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Determination. You can be intentional about your character, your work ethic.
You've got to be on the same page.
Today we're calling to let you know we are debt-free, house and everything.
You have done really, really, really good. And you're not going to quit now.
It's been a huge witness for us to be able to share that.
It was time to get serious.
Intentionality, people. Celebrate the success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk. Jeremiah is with us in Orlando. Hi, Jeremiah. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve, Dave. What about you?
Just the same. How can I help, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm in a good position. We're debt-free. We have a good income, and we're trying to invest our money as it builds. And I am biased towards real estate, and I'm trying to figure out a way to balance investing the money as we move forward between mutual funds, real estate, and other things. And I guess I've just never heard you talk about that subject too much, about how to figure out, how to go about balancing that. And like I said, I'm quite partial to real estate. I feel like I can do better return on my money there. And I'm just not, I'm concerned that I could get too far that side.
Yeah. I don't know if you can get too far that side unless you were only in that. I always want to have some of each, but I'm heavy real estate in my portfolio. As far as the percentage of my net worth, I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it's well north of 70% in real estate.
Yes, sir.
I've got a bunch in mutual funds, but real estate's my it's my drug of choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried. I feel like we're in the same boat. I feel like I'm.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want you to ever be 100% mutual funds unless you just hate real estate, or be 100% real estate unless you just hate mutual funds. And so I make more, like you say, I make more on my real estate than I do on my mutual funds, but it's more hassle.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I was answering emails at the break on a tenant problem, I mean. It's just, there's more to it. And it's harder to build that because I've used mutual funds to build up the cash and then use the cash out of that mutual fund to buy a piece of real estate, and then use the mutual fund to build up the cash and then use the cash out of that mutual fund to buy a piece of real estate. But I'm heavy as far as out of balance goes. I don't want to be 50-50. But again, you're a real estate guy. I'm a real estate guy. We like it. Some other person might say, I really don't want any tenants ever. And so they may be 100% mutual funds for that reason. That's okay. But in our case, I wouldn't, just because of the love of one versus detesting the other, I wouldn't want to be 100%.
Right. I follow you completely.
But if you were 80-20 and you're really good at real estate, that's fine.
Yes, sir. And I mean, as you know, the problem is the return on the money is it's not even close. So that's every time I say, well, we give it to the mutual fund and we hope for 12%. We just have so much more control with the real estate, and I feel like the percentages aren't guaranteed, but I feel like I have a little bit more control, and we do so much better there. So
I do agree with you, but it's more hassle.
It is. Any good reading on multifamily versus single family? All we've done so far is single family, and anything you would suggest?
There's probably something out there, but I don't know what it is. I haven't read I haven't read anything on that in 20 years.
Yes,
no. I mean, there's just some general theory on it we could throw around, and as far as a duplex, a quadplex, a triplex, that kind of thing, most of those, they resemble a single family, and in terms of the structure and so forth. I'm not talking about a full-blown apartment complex with 500 units. I'm talking about just like a triplex or a duplex, that kind of thing. They generally have a smaller investor as their market upon resale, and so they don't really have a retail market upon resale. And so they don't appreciate as much as single family will, and they're in the same price range. They'll cash flow better, and you've got a little bit of diversity in your cash flow. In other words, if one tenant's out, it's 1/3 of a triplex. It's not the 100%. With single family, it's 100% vacant. So I don't own any of those. I own single families, and then I own large properties. But then if you want to jump up to like the 10, 12 unit size and more, you get a whole different dynamic, but you also get a whole different dynamic in the management of that. The hassle factor goes way up then because you've got all these customers. And so you just got to decide about that. I have chosen intentionally because your buyer is a wholesale buyer on the back end of those, so you don't get as much appreciation as you do on a quality single family in most markets. Now, standalone, zero lot line, or a standalone condo is a different discussion. But as far as buying a duplex or buying a triplex or buying a quadplex, that's kind of a general statement when you're talking about multifamily. They manage a lot like a single family because you haven't got enough tenants that it takes over your life. But, I mean, you get a 25-unit property or a 200-unit property, it'll take over your life if you don't have good management. All right, Katie is with us in Colorado Springs. Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
All right. So my question is kind of a two-part question. First, we were presented a real estate opportunity from my family, and then completely separately, we were gifted $10,000 just this week, and we kind of don't know what to do about all that.
Well, we got $10,000. Where are you in the baby steps?
We are...
Hello?
100%.
Okay, your phone's cutting out, honey. You don't know what the baby steps are?
Of debt right now.
All right, I tell you what, your phone's cutting out. I'm going to put you on hold, and Kelly's going to pick up. When we get your phone stabilized, we'll bring you back on. Hold on a minute. All right, open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. Nima is on Twitter. Do you have any tips for newlyweds? We need some steps to combining finances. There's not really any steps. You have one checking account with both your names on it, and you close the other ones. That's not a step. That's just, well, I guess it's one step. When you look at the household income, it's our income, not your income and my income. It's our cars, not your car and my car. It's our house, our dog, unless it goes on the floor and then it's your dog. But you combine it. I mean, you change your pronouns from me and you to us and we. And you do that with the things you own. Out of the abundance of the heart, your mouth speaks. And we decide what's happening with our household income. We decide how we are going to pay our debts, even though one of them's a student loan that you brought in and one of them's a car loan that he brought in. But they're now our debts. When you can emotionally and relationally wrap that up that way, wrap a cord around it and pull it together, now you've got this level of unity and you're looking into the future holding hands rather than with arms folded looking into the future. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
1050 AM. Don't forget that number. And for you young people who got here by accidentally fat-fingering your FM band selector, we're an AM radio station. And AM refers to more than just the time of day.
This is KCAA.
Exploring science in the sea. The shells of oysters, clams, and other mollusks are made mainly of chalk, a mineral that's brittle and crumbly. Yet the shells themselves are tough. They can protect the critters inside them for years. Engineers have used the secret of those shells to create glass that's 200 times stronger than normal glass. It has the potential to be used in everything from smartphone screens to windshields. The secret is mother of pearl, the iridescent coating on the inside of the shells. It's made mainly of plates of the same chalky mineral as the rest of the shell. The plates lock together like Lego blocks. The boundaries between these blocks are filled with a compound that's much softer and weaker than the chalk. And oddly enough, that's what gives the mother of pearl such great strength. The weak layers have enough give that they absorb energy. They bend but don't break. Researchers at McGill University in Montreal used that same approach to make a stronger glass. They used a laser to etch grooves in glass slides. The grooves formed curved lines, like those on the edges of pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. The grooves create a weak boundary, just like the filling between blocks of chalk and mother of pearl. These regions channel energy along the grooves so that it doesn't move deep into the glass. As a result, the glass bends without breaking. The work could lead to shatter-resistant kitchenware, window panes, and many other products, all inspired by beautiful but tough mother of pearl. Science in the Sea, a production of the University of Texas Marine Science Institute, is on the web at scienceinthesea.org. I'm Holly Brawley.
So, you've moved and you've got a lot of things you don't need anymore. Where are you going to turn? Nope, not them. But a new, cool, and innovative way to sell your unwanted stuff online waiting for you at buysellmakeoffer.com. Buy, Sell, Make Offer is exactly what you do. There are positively no fees whatsoever, but there are 4 different monthly memberships to choose from. Skype is available with each. So cool.
Yep.
And there's a 60-day free trial membership to launch your very own store online. BuySellMakeOffer.com could be the next big thing.
Oh, yeah!
Good news is it's already here. Sign up today. Go to BuySellMakeOffer.com right now and see what the buzz is all about.
Are you working harder than ever at your job, but find yourself getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our free information, you can lead a happier life, work from home, and start earning money as soon as next week.
I was a traditional business owner, and our business was affected greatly by the economy, so we were looking for another income stream. It allowed me to actually walk away from a 16-year career and part owner in a traditional business just after 8 months.
Go to freedom105.com. Get out of the rat race, work from home, and start earning great money as soon as next week.
I'm a single mom. Before this business, I was over $90,000 in credit card debt alone. And now we go to Disneyland, Disney World. We've been on vacations to Hawaii. I never could have done that before this business.
Go to freedom105.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom105.com. freedom105.com.
This is KCAA.
Thank you for joining us, America. This is your show. Hey, folks, are you working to get out of debt? Are you on baby step 2, we call it? Well, good news. We've got some awesome tools that will inspire you, help you get moving and tackling baby step 2. Some of them start as little as only $10. We've got products like the Financial Peace University Online, the whole starter special, the Total Money Makeover book, many, many other things that will help you get started on your baby step 2 process. Visit the store at DaveRamsey.com or call customer care at 888-22-PEACE, 888-227-3223. You jump in, we'll talk. David is with us in Tampa, Florida. Hi, David. How are you?
Good, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I've been listening to you since I've been in a car seat, as strange as that is, so I'm really thrilled to be talking to you.
You're young and I'm old. There we go.
So my wife and I are in the middle of a debate right now, and we're definitely in a good place to be having this debate. We save about 30% of our income for retirement. We're about 28 years old, and I'm thinking we need to bring that down to probably a bit closer to 15%, so we can get a house down payment together and be able to pay a mortgage in an area where we want to live. And it would still be within a quarter of our gross take-home pay. Right now, our rent is about an eighth of our take-home pay. She's saying, nope, keep it where it is. I'm saying we need to bring down the retirement. What are your thoughts?
I would temporarily stop retirement completely and build up a huge down payment for 1 year. What's your household income?
About 170, 180.
Yeah. I mean, if you put 30 or 40% of that aside in 1 year, you'd have a great down payment. And that's what you could do if you stopped all retirement for 1 year.
That's one way of looking at it. Probably closer to my extreme.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's just a short period of time, and it doesn't. You're making a ton of money. You don't want to be a renter for long. Renting is a good idea, but you're debt free. You have an emergency fund in place. Am I right?
Correct.
And this is above that because you're at baby steps 4, and you're overdoing baby step 4 because you're not in a home. And I want you to get in a house because you're going to get the benefit of house prices going up. The bad news is Tampa hasn't completely recovered real estate prices. They've recovered quite a bit, but not completely, right?
It's still pretty ridiculous. Like, we're both originally from the Atlanta area, and we both said if we were to go to Atlanta with the type of money we're talking about in Tampa, we could buy a zip code versus what we're talking about in Tampa. So,
yeah. Yep.
But, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a, I mean, this is the time to get in is what I'm saying.
Correct.
Yeah, so I would take a year off and put $50,000 to $100,000 aside.
Okay, I like it.
Thanks for the call. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Aaron is in Lexington. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing great. Thanks for taking my call, sir.
Sure. What's up?
Me and my wife we're trying to knock out our debt. We have about $5,000 in credit cards, and also I bought a truck maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and I paid $24,000 for it. It was a 2009 nice truck, and I own a small business. I do a small engine repair, and I've been using the truck to do pick up delivery and such. But I have another truck that's paid off, and really what me and my wife we're struggling with a way to get rid of this newer truck.
What do you owe on?
I owe $15,000.
What do you think it's worth?
The bank told me that with however they figure out how much they're worth, they said it's worth $20,000.
Okay, you need to jump online at kbb.com, kellybluebook.com, and look at and put in the information on your truck, and it's a website that'll give you a valuation. It gives you 3 types of valuation: retail, wholesale, and private sale. Wholesale is what a dealer will pay for it. Retail is what a dealer would sell it for. Private sale is what you would sell it for on Craigslist.
Okay.
And that gives you an idea. So I would pull up private sale and see what you can sell the truck for. You don't want to sell it to a dealer at wholesale, and you're not going to get retail for it. So let's look at private sale, and then we make that consideration based on the value. But the good news is it'll bring enough to pay off the note, and you'd be debt-free, and you've got another truck that you can drive for your deliveries.
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
And your household income is what?
With my business and my wife working part-time, we make a little more than $60,000 a year.
Okay. And these are your only 2 debts, $15,000 on the truck and $5,000 on the credit cards?
And our house.
Right. But I mean, you're only, other than your home, those are the only 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you like the truck?
We both like the truck.
Then I would pay it off and keep it.
Okay.
But that means you got $20,000 you got to find in less than 2 years, and you ought to be able to do that really in about 18 months.
Okay.
You're making $60,000, $10,000 a year out of that for 2 years. You ought to be able to do that, right? You ought to be able to do $20,000 out of $60,000 in 1 year if you went on beans and rice and beans and didn't do anything else, right?
Right.
So if you get the truck paid off, I'm fine with you keeping it as long as you raise your right hand and swear to never take a truck payment again.
Okay.
Never borrow money again.
That's why we want to go ahead and just get rid of it now and then
it's okay.
Have a payment again.
If you want to do that, you can. I don't care. I'm fine with you selling it, but just jump on Kelley Blue Book then, find out what it's worth. But if you like the truck, you can pay it off in a year plus, maybe 13 months, 12 months, 14, I don't know, something like that. You could do it, but you'd have no life during that year in order to do that, and you'd be able to keep the truck. That's fine with me. Since you can pay it off really quick, and since your cars are less than half your annual income, I'm fine with you doing this. You should be debt-free in a year. Maybe a little bit more, year and a half. And if you're willing to do that, that's fine. If you want to sell the truck, then just sell it. It's fine. Just put it up for sale on Craigslist. But you need to find out what it's worth, and the bank is not the place to get the appraisal. And the dealer is going to give you an appraisal of what they want to pay for it, which is wholesale, so they can turn around and sell it and make a profit. That's not, you want to get more than that for it. So the good news is if you were able to sell it for, say $23,000 or something, you only owe $15,000, hey, you're out of debt. Completely. You pay off the credit card. Cut it up. Jillian's in Anchorage. Hi, Jillian. How are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve, Dave. How are you?
Just the same. How can I help?
So I have a quick question. A few years ago, I rented an apartment from a landlord, and there are issues with it. I wasn't able to move in right away, even though upon seeing it, I paid first, last month, everything. I paid everything up front. Because the heat did not work in it, and I moved in the middle of winter. Eventually, I was able to move in, but the landlord, I kept having issues with it. The landlord said, okay, just deduct whatever you're getting fixed from your rent and then just pay us the difference and show us the receipts. So that is what I did. I was young and foolish, so I did not get that in writing. I just got her verbal authorization to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I moved out because I got tired of going away and coming back and finding out that she had been in my apartment because stuff would be moved, doors would be unlocked, stuff was just happening that I knew I wasn't responsible for. So then I moved into another apartment, and I tried going to court over it because, she ended up taking me to court because she said I didn't give her proper notice. But when we went to court, I told the judge what was happening, and she was telling the judge, no, it wasn't. She never gave me that authorization. So a friend of mine, who is no longer a friend, suggested I file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy so that I wouldn't have to pay anything.
Good Lord.
Well, I did that. Yeah, I did that, then realized the mistake I made, went back to the judge and said, hey, I'm not trying to do bankruptcy. I'm paying my bills. Everything's pretty much paid off. I just had a problem with how she was going into my apartment, and so once my lease was fulfilled, I moved out and moved into a different apartment. Now I'm dealing with another apartment in the city I lived in. I no longer live there, but the landlords there felt like they could go into the apartments for whatever reason they wanted, and this newest landlord did the same thing and took me to court saying she was trying to evict me over $20. When the judge realized it was $20, he said, you guys need to go to mediation, take care of it, whatever. We went through mediation. I said, I can write you a check now for $20. Now they're trying.
Hold on, I'll talk to you when we come back from the break. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
This is KCAA.
California headline news. A wildfire is growing in the San Bernardino Mountains east of Los Angeles.
About 200 people, mainly teenagers, have been evacuated from campsites in the area. Flames have been towering above the forest, torching treetops. Building containment lines is tough for firefighters in the thick forest.
Correspondent Alex Stone, focus for the investigation into that deadly balcony collapse in Berkeley remains on wood used to build the structure. Dry rot a possible contributing factor.
Berkeley's mayor saying improper sealing on that balcony may have allowed water to seep into the wood. The culprit could be dry rot snapping. A balcony 1 floor below also ordered removed. Investigators fearing it too was in danger of falling.
Correspondent Cecilia Vega. President Obama in the Los Angeles area today for some fundraising work. He's attending one DNC event at the Beverly Hills home of actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry. Geico weather, more warm, dry conditions throughout much of the state today. High pressure moving through. Jeff Scott, California News.
the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. It's as American as apple pie. However, over the last 7 years or so, Americans who can't use a tax return or pay stub to qualify have been shut out. Until now, Cash Call Mortgage is happy to announce its new 30-year fixed-rate mortgage up to $3 million for good credit borrowers who can't or won't provide their tax returns or pay stubs. Your payment will never change. Until now, these programs have only been available as some kind of adjustable, and you know which way those adjustables will eventually go. So call 844-890-CASH for all of your 30-year fixed-rate mortgage needs, purchase or refinance. You can even pull up to $500,000 in equity out of your house for any reason whatsoever. Remember, that's 844-890-CASH to find out what today's 30-year fixed rate is with no tax returns. You'll be shocked at how low these rates are.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. California Department of Business Oversight. Residential Mortgage Lender Law License 4131083. NMLS 128231.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
From the KCAA Community Calendar, I'm Mark Westwood. Everyone's talking about the Third Thursdays in San Bernardino. Rediscover the city of San Bernardino Third Thursday Food Truck Fest. Switch up your lunchtime routine. Try the gourmet food trucks every third Thursday from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Court Street parking lot between E and D Streets in downtown San Bernardino. Enjoy delicious, tasty food from the food trucks such as the Slam and Sliders food truck, Farmer's Belly, the Bacon Mania truck, Piaggio on Wheels, or the Greasy Wiener. All kinds of mouth-watering delights, hot off the truck, and plenty to eat. Put an end to dull, boring fast food and truck on over to City Hall in San Bernardino for the Third Thursday Food Truck Fest in downtown San Bernardino. For more info, check out Rediscover San Bernardino's Facebook page at facebook.com/SB Third Thursdays. That's SBTHIRD Thursdays. That's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Mark Westwood.
KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Are you working harder than ever at your job, but find yourself getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our free information, you can lead a happier life, work from home, and start earning money as soon as next week.
I was a traditional business owner, and our business was affected greatly by the economy, so we were looking for another income stream. It allowed me to actually walk away from a 16-year career and part owner in a traditional business just after 8 months.
Go to freedom105.com. Get out of the rat race, work from home, and start earning great money as soon as next week.
I'm a single mom. Before this business, I was over $90,000 in credit card debt alone. And now we go to Disneyland, Disney World. We've been on vacations to Hawaii. I never could have done that before this business.
Go to freedom105.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom105.com. freedom105.com. And start earning great money as soon as next week.
Wondering what to do on your Friday drive home? Well, the bar's open and it's happy hour. Join us right here on KCAA 1050 AM on Friday, June 19th at 3 for Trevor's Happy Hour with Lyle Fenimore. The gang's all going to be there, so dial it in. KCAA 1050 AM Fridays at 3 p.m. right after the Poor Man for Trevor's Happy Hour with Lyle Fenimore. Pour me a tall one. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Down to Earth Talk, a show designed to inspire, encourage, build, and bring laughter to listeners. Down to Earth Talk, where we take everyday topics and issues and put them into practical, down-to-earth terms. Topics include relationships, parenting, finances, sports, and entertainment. That's Down to Earth Talk, Saturdays 5:30 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM.
Okay, I'm talking to Jillian in Anchorage, Alaska, who has been in and out of 3 or 4 apartments and went into a Chapter 13 and back out. Then on the latest event, $20 off, and the judge suggested arbitration. Is that a fair summary of what you told me?
Yes.
Okay. And so how can I help today?
Okay, so I paid the $20, and now 3 years later, I received a letter stating that she is trying to garnish my paycheck over something I thought had been resolved. And so I'm not sure what to even do at this point.
The
because other than
$20?
student
She's
loans,
garnishing your paycheck over $20?
She is saying that she never received it, and so she wants everything paid in full, and it's the amount of the $20 plus interest that would have accrued on the $20 over 3 years.
And you didn't keep proof that you gave her the $20?
I did. I mailed her a money order. I kept a copy of the money order receipt and sent it to the judge for the final hearing, which apparently I thought had been put into my case, but it's not there. And I have it, and I've mailed it to, I called the clerks in the city I used to live in, and they're saying there's nothing that they can do. I need to come see the judge, which would mean I'd have to fly to go see a judge about a case that I thought was over 3 years ago.
Okay. Well, I guess you've got 2 choices. One, you've got to appear before the judge, or maybe you can get the judge on the phone and just try to talk to him. I mean, it's $20 freaking dollars. This is absurd. And so what is the $20 plus interest? What's she sued you for?
She's saying I owe $1,856.
That's not interest on $20 for 3 years. There's something wrong with that math.
That's what I was looking at, too. But that's
well, there's no interest rate in the world that would take $20 to $1,800 in 3 years.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, but that's what the garnishment amount is for.
She's added something else in then.
That's what I'm thinking, but she won't even talk to me.
She doesn't.
Her company won't talk.
You don't have a $20 problem. You have an $1,800 problem. Now you can afford an airline ticket. You've been sued for and lost the lawsuit because you were not present. Something having to do with this lease, and you lost the lawsuit, and the lawsuit then is going after you to garnish you on $1,800, and so you have to hire an attorney.
Okay, that's what I will do.
Yeah, because otherwise you're gonna pay $1,800, and I can't get to the bottom of this. It's certainly not the $20 item. It's something else in the disagreement.
And that was all I knew about at that time. So there's stuff added.
There's obviously something else going on there. So, also, let me stop you for just a second and just tell you from my side of the equation, listening to you, every discussion you've ever had with a landlord, they entered the property and you didn't like that. Let me tell you, we enter every one of our properties at least once a quarter. We have an inspection clause in our lease to make sure you don't have a cat, because we don't allow cats. To make sure you don't have a dog, because we don't allow dogs, and make sure you're not growing weed in there. And so we inspect our properties, and we have the right to do so according to lease. Now, we don't come sleep in people's beds or drink out of their cups or stuff like that and move things around, but that is a normal procedure, and you need to be used to that as a tenant, that landlords inspect their properties. That is a normal process, and that seemed to upset you with every single landlord. And it sounds like you've had a couple of weird landlords, but it also sounds like you're 0 for 3 on your landlord stories. And the only common denominator in those 3 is you. So you need to kind of think through how you're interacting with these landlords. I don't know what's going on, but it just sounds weird from my side of the equation, Jillian. So it's something you kind of need to think about as to, how much you're throwing your weight around in these relationships with a landlord. Certainly, they don't need to come in and mess up your stuff and, move stuff around randomly and that kind of thing. But, I mean, if we have to come in to do a repair, we might move a piece of furniture and put it back to do the repair. We're allowed to do that according to our lease. And in most landlords' leases, that kind of thing is there. So you've kind of got to be used to that as a tenant. Matter of fact, I own a home, and I've got people over there working today. I'll bet you they're moving stuff. So, that's the way things happen sometimes. So you kind of got to think through that a little bit, because your story the way you laid it out before we came into this break, just that's how it sounded. So you need to think about that. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dave is with us in Lexington. Hi, Dave. How are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
My wife and I are on our second baby step, and we're doing our monthly budget on everydollar.com. And we just found out that her income's going up about $600 a month. And we also just found out that we're planning to have our first child.
Yay!
And, yeah. And I was wondering, should we put away that extra $600 for a baby fund, or should we continue just to snowball it?
No, you should stop your total money makeover. Push pause. Pay minimum payments on everything, and pile up every dollar you can squeeze out of your budget into a pile until baby comes. I want you to build as large as you possibly can, as large an emergency fund as you possibly can until baby comes. Now, so in other words, when she's in her third trimester and is highly uncomfortable, and you have $20,000 sitting in cash, it makes her more comfortable. Is that right?
I understand.
And so then when she comes home from the hospital and she's okay, and baby comes home from the hospital and baby's okay, and there's no troubles at all with anybody, then we take that $20,000 and we throw it right at the debt snowball, or whatever you've been able to save, and you throw it at the debt snowball. But I just want you to pile up as big a pile of cash as you can and not worry about your total money makeover until baby comes.
I understand.
Thanks for the call. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Marissa in Phoenix. Hi, Marissa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I just have a question for you. My husband is a breadwinner in our family, and we have accumulated $89,879.41 in debt. That's student loans and a car payment.
How much of that's car?
$18,602.97.
Gotcha.
And then, so I didn't know. My question was, is it possible for us to do a graduate program, because we are giving ourselves 2 years to pay off this entire debt? Hopefully it'll happen, because we're living off of beans and rice and beans.
Good. What's your household income?
It's $65,000 a year. He's a nurse.
All right, so you're going to make $130, and you're going to pay off $90 over 2 years, so you're going to live on $20 a year.
Yes.
Minus taxes.
Is that possible?
Minus taxes. It's tight. It's pretty tight. How much is your house payment?
We don't have a house. We're renting right now. Our rent is $998 a month.
Okay. Well, that's $12,000 a year, $24,000 in 2 years, and so very, very tight. Very tight. You might be able to do it, but it might take a little bit longer than 2 years. One way to speed it up would be to sell the car that you can't afford.
Sell the car. Okay. And then, would it be okay if we? The program costs about $62,000, and he's going to be a CRNA.
I'm sorry. What program?
A CRNA, a nursing anesthetist. And so
I'm sorry. I didn't hear that before. What?
A nursing anesthetist?
Yeah, I know. I heard that just now. But you were talking about getting out of debt a minute ago, and suddenly you turned left. I got whiplash. Now you're going to go to now you're going to go be a nurse anesthetist and spend $62,000
for the program. I didn't know if we should just, if we had very little debt paid off, if we should just go ahead and go and do the program, or just pay it all off and save up money to do the graduate program.
Both of you are working?
No, just he is.
How many children do you have?
We have 3.
I'm okay with not paying extra on the student loans to finish that. I would sell the car for sure, though.
Okay.
And don't pay extra on the student loans, but pay cash for this nurse anesthetist, or don't do it.
Okay.
Until you can pay cash for it. So pay cash as you go, and as soon as that's done, then go clean up the student loans. Don't add any debt to this and shed the car debt and then break even while you finish the degree.
It's Mike Manahan, host of Biz Rap Radio, the show all about small business and entrepreneurs. Join me every Friday at 3 p.m. right here on Kcaa Radio.
is KCAA.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
If you're like most, your trust in traditional financial advice has taken a big hit in the last few years. So when it comes to your money, investment, and retirement planning, where do you turn now? Who do you listen to? Join us for Smart Money Talk Radio, Mondays from 3 to 4 p.m. for the refreshing, straightforward money and investment strategies of Jim and Lorraine Conaway. With over 44 years of combined experience, the Conaways are here to educate you on how to be smart with your money. Securities offered through J.P. Turner & Company, LLC. Member SIPC.
Financial words of wisdom with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
Staying out of the market is the most dangerous thing you can do for your financial future.
If you continue to spend like a drunken sailor, you're going to run out of money. This is not poker. This is your financial future.
It's helpful financial food for thought on your drive home with a host who tells it like it is. Market Wrap with Mo Ansari. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Hi, this is Bob with Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. Tune in every Thursday afternoon from 3 until 4 at KCAA Radio 1050, and we will be there to answer your real estate questions, the latest real estate news, and to talk to the leaders of the real estate industry. Our Real Estate Talk, you can find out how to stop your foreclosure, first-time homebuyer information, loan modifications, different kinds of loans you can buy with, short sale strategies, and real estate investing and more. So don't forget, tune in every Thursday afternoon at 3 for Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. You'll be glad you did.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay.
Every Thursday night at 7 on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050.
Thank you for joining us, America. Jolene is in Santa Barbara. Hi, Jolene. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, my husband and I, we're in baby step number 2, and we have $43,000 in student loan debt. And we were wondering if we should use some of our IRA. We have $124,000 there, and we have $16,000 in cash equivalent mutual funds. If we should cash in that and pay off our debt, since we're young enough to kind of recover from the penalty we would incur.
Mm-hmm. Now, the $16,000 in cash equivalent is not in an IRA?
It's not in our IRA.
Okay, I'd cash it out and put it on the debt, for sure. No, I would not cash out any IRAs. Here's why, and you'll understand instantly when I do this, okay? When you pull money out of an IRA or 401k early, you experience a 10% penalty plus your tax rate. What is your household income?
77.
Okay, so you're in a 25% tax bracket. And so you
but
will
we're
be...
military, so...
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You will be... Unless is somebody deployed, that's tax-free?
No, I think only 56 is taxable because the rest of it is like housing allowance and food allowance.
Okay. Well, anyway, you're in a 25% tax bracket plus a 10% penalty. So it's pulling money out. The government is going to kick you in the teeth for 35% of whatever you pull out. That's kind of like calling me and saying, Dave, I want to borrow money at 35% interest to pay off my student loans.
Right.
You would never do that.
No, sir.
So, no, cashing out of retirement early, unless it's to avoid a bankruptcy or to avoid a foreclosure, is never something we do. But the other stuff, I'd cash out in a heartbeat. The non-retirement stuff where there's no penalties on it, definitely going to do that and clear up as much as we can. So you got 16 to throw at the 43, and you've got a $77,000 household income, give or take your benefits package with the military.
Right.
Then you're just going to have to roll up your sleeves and attack this thing for the other 30,000 or so.
Yeah, because I'll go back to work this year too, and I'll be making at least 60.
Oh, good. That'll make it easy to knock out then. Yeah, you'll knock it out fast if you concentrate on it.
Okay.
Now, do you guys have a copy of the Total Money Makeover book?
No, sir.
Let me send you one, and that'll show you how to do all of this stuff. And it's our way of saying thank you for serving your country, okay?
Thank you so much.
You hold on, and Kelly will pick up, and we'll send you a Total Money Makeover. Becky's with us. Becky is in Lexington. Hi, Becky. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for taking my call, Dave.
Sure. What's up?
My husband and I are in a position of advising our adult daughter. She has just come out of an abusive marriage and is getting back on her feet.
Wow.
She's lived with us for about a year. She has 3 young sons, put herself through school. She's now a nurse and has her job, and she has just this week rented her first house.
Wow.
And she's getting ready to move out and get going in life. But my husband and I are not in agreement on what she needs to do at this point. Not our decision, but our advice. She's renting this house. My husband feels like she needs to be saving money for a down payment to buy a house, whereas she's coming out with debt. And although she has her $1,000 emergency fund, she does not have anything close to a fully funded emergency fund.
And how much does she have in debt?
Well, she has a van that is probably, I think, unfortunately, about $5,000 upside down.
How much does she have in debt?
I'm guessing about $5,000, $6,000.
Total, including the van?
Well, no, I guess that's probably not right. The van is probably $18,000.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. He rolled a second. He rolled a car loan into a car loan.
Yeah.
When he bought the van.
Yeah. Sounds like
and
it.
Then she got the van.
So now she's a nurse, and what's she making?
She's making between $41,000 and $45,000 a year. She just started working in March.
Okay. Your husband would be wrong.
Okay.
I would recommend that she work our baby steps. It's the best thing she can do. It's worked for millions of people, and that's to save first $1,000 as a miniature starter emergency fund, and then to become debt-free, and then to save an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then to save for a down payment. Because when you buy a home, when you're upside down on an $18,000 van, and you buy a home while you've been through everything she's been through, and she has no stinking money, that home is not going to be a blessing. It's going to be a curse.
Okay.
And if you're out of debt and you have an emergency fund, you buy a home, the home will be a blessing.
Right. And that's what we have done. We are now completely debt free and are working on we've got our fully funded emergency fund, and so we're now working on our savings. Investing and things like that. We're just getting started in that.
Good. So it sounds like that this car is out of control, and maybe we need to address that too. Who is the loan with? Do you know?
Unfortunately, I do not know. It's a bank loan, though.
It is a bank loan. Okay.
It is a bank loan.
I would have her to sit down with the banker and tell the banker the story of what's going on. And you think she's upside down about $5,000, and see if the bank will allow her to sell the van and to sign a note with them for the difference.
Okay.
Because I'd rather her be $5,000 in debt than $18,000 in debt. Because when you make $42,000 a year, you would never sign up for an $18,000 car loan.
Never.
You wouldn't sign up for a car loan, period, if you were smart, but for sure not one that big.
And she works for a university hospital, so she also has access to a credit union. So I'm thinking they might be willing to work.
Well,
with
if they'll loan her the difference plus a couple grand for a little get around car while she gets this mess cleaned up, then she can move up in car after she's out of debt and gets her emergency fund in place, and then move up to about a $7,000-8,000 car that she pays cash for. In the meantime, for a couple of years, drive a $2,000 car, and then save up your down payment for your house. But right now, she's broke. She doesn't need a house.
She has to have a car that will manage 3 car seats.
That's okay.
Okay, you
buy a big cheap, you buy a big cheap worn out van.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's a temporary thing. I'm not saying drive this junk car, $2,000 car for 20 years. I'm saying drive it for 20 months.
Right. Exactly.
And to get her back on square one, because her life would be completely different. Think about it. Just breathe her $42,000 with 3 babies and all she's been through. If she didn't have a payment in the world and was renting a little house,
right?
There's a lot of peace there.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Right now she's got a mess on her hands, and she's still trying to recover emotionally from all this crap she's been through.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you were on the right track, Mom. That's exactly what I would tell her to do. And I'll tell you what, I want to be part of her healing. I want her to go through our class, Financial Peace University, and I'm going to give it to her. If you'll hold on, I'll have Kelly pick up, and we'll get her signed up, and I'll give it to her. Thanks for calling in. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. That's what we do here. We help people. We help them by telling them the truth, maybe even poking at you a little bit. Maybe poking at you pretty hard sometimes. But make sure you get the idea, because you got to do smart stuff. I've done so much stupid in my life, hadn't you? Yeah, we all have. I've done so many stupid things. And I've survived them, but I don't want to do them over and over. I don't want to keep doing this. So, I mean, really, you have to completely change your mindset on money and quit doing what your broke friends have been doing. You have to change your mindset on money and quit being normal. Normal's looking good with a car payment, a student loan that's been around so long you think it's a pet, MasterCard. You've discovered bondage and American distress. That's normal in America. Why do you want to be normal? I don't want to be normal. I want rid of all that garbage. I don't need to impress anybody anymore. Way too old, way too ugly, and way too ornery. It's that simple. And you need to get there too, whether you're 22 or 62. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
I'm Tom.